What's up, guys? Thank you so much for tuning in yet to another video of mine. On here today, I'm going to cover the last book that I read. The name of the author is Dale Carnegie, and his book is How to Win Friends and Influence People. If you haven't read the book, you've probably heard of it. I recommend that you go do it. It's an amazing book that's supposed to help you in every area of your life, because every single day we're constantly dealing with people, and sometimes, the hardest things to get over are people's attitude and some of people's negativity, and sometimes they actually prevent us from our happiness, and it keeps us stuck in the same place. So this is going to be a great book if you're having issues just dealing with people, or you're having a tough time persuading people to your way of thinking. This is going to be a great book for you guys to use. So I'm going to go over the 8 things you're going to take away from this book. All right, I'm going to go ahead and just go try to get all this information out of the way, because I'm going to make a 4-part series video on this. This is going to be, like I said, the first one, and this is going to be the 8 things you're going to take away from you in this video. Number 1, get out of a mental rut, think new thoughts, acquire new vision, discover new ambitions. Number 2, make new friends quickly and easily. Number 3, increase your popularity. Number 4, win people to your way of thinking. Number 5, increase your influence, your prestige, your ability to get things done. Number 6, handle complaints, avoid arguments, keep your human contacts smooth and pleasant. Number 7, become a better speaker, a more entertaining conversationalist. And number 8, arouse enthusiasm among your associates. These are the 8 things, guys, you're going to take from you. You're going to take with you, you read the book. So make sure that you look into it, because like I said, it's going to be life-changing in every area of your life. Like I said, it comes highly recommended by some of the most successful people in the world. And it's helped them achieve great things. And if it can do it for them, it can do it for you and I. All right, guys, so there are 3 principles in the first pillar of the book, and I'm going to go one by one. The first principle is do not criticize, condemn, or complain. I do have some notes here I'm going to read from. It's going to be a lot easier to keep things moving and precise. All right, so there is a quote that he starts off with, and it's, if you want honey, don't kick over the beehive. All right, guys, I mean, can you stop for a second and think about that quote? If you want honey, don't kick over the beehives. All right, if you're trying to get something out of life, if you're trying to get something from someone, badgering them is not the way to do it. You're probably going to actually, drive them away by doing that. So it's better to be use tactics, and have a set of tools, right, in your tool shed that you can go to when it comes to, getting what you want out of life. If you're just guessing your way into everything, you're not going to get the results that you want, guys. So these are some of the notes on there, and I'm going to begin by this one. Instead of condemning people, let's try to understand them. Figure why they do what they do. It's a lot more profitable and intriguing than criticism. It breeds sympathy, tolerance, and kindness. There's a quote that's on the book by Dr. Johnson that says, God himself, sir, does not propose to judge men until the end of his days. Why should I? It's a great quote. It's something I think we should all keep fresh in our minds when we're dealing with people. So sometimes I know it's easy to, try to come off like we know everything in life, the masters of our own destinies, which we are. But we have to keep in mind, everyone is a master in their own way, and they're in the life of their own. But that shouldn't give us any reason to put people down, especially if you're trying to get something out of someone or something out of life. You're going to do it, with a good attitude, with the right intentions. If you have the wrong intentions, you're going to drive people away. So that's principle number 1, guys. Don't criticize, don't condemn, don't complain. All right, principle number 2, here we go. The big secret of dealing with people. There's only one way to get anybody to do anything, just one. And that is by making the other person want to do it. All right? You can try holding, a gun to someone's head, and there's a chance that, they're going to do what you want, right? But that might not be good for you in the end, right? Because you might end up going to jail for assault and battery or something like that. And anyways, that's not probably the best efficient way to get things done in your life, right? If you're constantly arguing with people and like I was saying, badgering them, you're gonna have a tough time. Instead, have some tactics ready, right? Think about the how and the why and the what. So the how. Only way to get someone to give you something is to figure out how to do it. And then you got to figure out what. What do they want? If you're just there thinking about what you want the whole time, you're going to go around in circles. No one's going to get what they want. But if you stop for a second and put yourself in the other person's shoes, you're going to get a lot more things that you want done than if you did it the other way around. All right. Another quote that's on the book by Sigmund Freud said, everything that you and I do springs from two motives: the sex urge and the desire to be great. Keep that in mind, because there's another quote, right? I'm going to follow up with by a Dr. John Dewey. All right, he's one of actually, he's not a doctor. He's one of America's most profound philosophers. Scratch that. And this is his quote: "The deepest urge in human nature is the desire to be important." All right. Some of the most things that people want, he lists them here, and it's as follows. What most people want in life is health and preservation of life, food, sleep, money and the things money will buy, life in the hereafter, sexual gratification, the well-being of their children, and a feeling of importance. Listen, most usually get gratified, except one: the desire to be great, the desire to feel important. That's probably the one that gets slipped by everyone, because we're also programmed and concerned with ourselves, with me only. It's good to sometimes get out of the box and put yourselves in someone else's life, their angles, try to see life from their view, so you can better understand them, better go about, your actions and dealing with them. And you're going to get the results that you want better that way, and avoid, certain errors you're probably repeating over and over again. There's no reason for that. So I'm going to go move forward, guys, so we can keep the things moving here. All right. There's nothing else that kills a person's ambition more than criticism from a superior. So keep that in mind, guys. He goes into an example of Charles Schwab, right? Charles Schwab, right? This was back in the 1920s. He was picked by Andrew Carnegie to become the first president of the newly formed United States Steel Company in 1921. At the time, he was 38 years old, right? And he wasn't necessarily the expert in his field. But this is what he says. He goes, he had more men working for him who knew more about the manufacture of steel than he did. He said that he got paid more and got the job because of his ability to deal with people. All right, what was his secret? Yeah, of course, right? Dealing with people, but how did he do it? This was his quote: "I consider my ability to arouse enthusiasm among the people the greatest asset, and the way to develop the best that is in a person is by appreciation and encouragement." Listen, the average person does the complete opposite. So if you want to get certain results out of someone or something, do something different. Do what the average person is not doing, all right? Show some kindness, all right? And show appreciation. And there's two things. There's appreciation and there's flattery. Appreciation comes from sincerity. Flattery comes from unsincere. So, they're both very different, guys. Depending on how you go about things, you're either going to make someone feel appreciated, or it's going to be complete flattery. They're going to tell that you're not being earnest, that you're not being real. When you're really showing someone appreciation, it usually comes from the heart, right? Flattery comes from the teeth. So keep that in mind, all right, guys? So that was principle number 2. Give honest and sincere appreciation. So principle number 1 is don't criticize, condemn, or complain. And principle number 2 is give honest, sincere appreciation. I don't think it's that hard, guys. I think you'll see the amazing results that you're going to get out of it. So here we go, guys. Principle number 3. We're going to keep this thing moving. It's a whole lot. And imagine this is just one video. Goodness, if you read the book, there's a lot there, but you're going to take so much with you. Here we go. Principle number 3. And it starts off with a quote. He who can do this has the whole world with him. He who cannot walks a lonely way. Listen, the only way on earth to influence other people is to talk about what they want and show them how to get it. All right? Why talk about what we want? What I want. Like, right? Me, all the time. That's probably, from the get-go, the first things that we kind of keep in mind is the me when we go into subjects with certain people. But of course, we want to show that we're interested in what they have to say and what they're interested in, which is something that no one else is going to be doing. The rest of us, just like you, are usually interested in what we want. So let's try different tactics and put ourselves, like I said, in their shoes. What do they want? How can we help them get that? And in return, you're going to see you're going to get all the things that you want. There's actually a quote on the book by Henry Ford, and he says this: if there is one secret of success, it lies in the ability to get the other person's point of view and see things from that person's angle as well as your own. So I'm going to repeat that because I was a little sorry. Henry Ford, this is his quote: if there's one secret of success, it lies in the ability to get other person's point of view and see things from that person's angle as well as your own. All right? If you get anything from the book, and he says this, if you get anything, from this book, is that you get an increased tendency to think always in terms of the other person's point of view and things from their angle. Listen, Professor Overstreet's wise advice was this. This was a professor called Overstreet. First, arouse in the other person an eager want. He who can do this has the whole world with him. He who cannot walks a lonely way. Listen, guys, self-expression, it's a dominant thing. Most of the time we're going to want to lead with what we want, but we have to teach ourselves to put ourselves in the other person's shoe first and see things from their angle, their position. All right. When we have a brilliant idea, instead of making others think it was ours, why not let them think, right? And stir the idea as if it was theirs, because then when you move forward, you'll know it was yours. But you would have gotten what you wanted only because you included them in your idea and you weren't shoving it down their throat like it was theirs and they had nothing to put in. You want to make people feel included, not excluded. You want to make them feel inclusive in your decision, so that it makes the wheel go around. All right. Anyways, because then they're going to regard it as their own. Everyone's going to be a lot happier. Everyone gets what they want. So again, guys, that was the third principle, and that was arouse in the other and eager wants. So I'm going to recap the three things, the three principles you're going to learn in this first pillar that you will learn in the first chapter of the book. And that is the first principle, right? That is, don't criticize, condemn, or complain. Number 2, give an honest and sincere appreciation to the other person. And number 3, arouse in the other person an eager want. If you do those three things, you're already on your way of handling people 100 times better and getting what you want out of life 100 times faster. So hopefully this was helpful, guys. I don't want to bore you guys anymore. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. There's so much on here that honestly I couldn't go on here and do it probably any more sophisticated than I did. I'm gonna go ahead and create the other 3 for you guys in the upcoming days. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. There'll be a lot more. Thank you much for tuning in. Until the next time, peace out.